Episode 4. The Inheritance. Liam's Perspective.
I stood by the window, looking out at the overgrown garden. I had spent days walking through the house, trying to understand why Arthur had left it to me. Part of me wanted to sell it and leave. But every time I thought about leaving, something stopped me. Then, I noticed something. A small, sealed envelope, tucked into the edge of the bookshelf. It was dusty and faded, as if it had been there for years. My name was written on the front, in Arthur's careful handwriting. My heart beat faster as I opened it, not sure what I would find. Inside was a short note, written in Arthur's familiar style.
Liam, if you're reading this, it means you finally came back. I always knew you would. I didn't leave you the house to give you trouble. I left it because I knew you'd find something here you couldn't find anywhere else. Take your time. You'll figure it out.
I read the note over and over, trying to understand what he meant. What was I supposed to find? It wasn't a clear answer, but it felt like a gentle push, a sign that I shouldn't rush. Maybe Arthur was telling me not to walk away from this place, just because it seemed difficult. The next day, Grace came to visit. She brought a basket of bread and cheese, just like she used to bring for Arthur. We sat together in the kitchen and talked about the repairs, the cost of fixing things, and the idea of selling the house. "Do you think I'm making a mistake?" I asked her. Grace looked at me for a moment before she spoke.
I think the mistake would be to decide too quickly. Arthur wasn't someone who rushed into things, and he wouldn't want you to either. You need to make the decision that feels right to you, not just the easy one.
I nodded, but I still didn't know what to do. It felt like there was something just out of reach, something I was supposed to understand. A week later, after more thinking, I finally made my choice. I called a real estate agent to get an estimate. The repairs would be expensive, and even if I fixed everything, the house might not sell for much. Leaving would be the easiest thing to do. But when the agent arrived, I felt unsure. As he walked through the rooms, measuring and taking notes, I found myself standing in the garden again, just like I did as a child. The weeds were tall, the bushes wild, but I could still see the paths where I used to run. Suddenly, I realized I didn't want to lose this place. I didn't want it to become just another property for someone else to change. I wanted it to be something more. But I knew I couldn't do it alone. That's when I made a call to a friend back in the city, someone who always talked about starting a new project, someone who knew how to make things happen. "Hey, do you still want to open that guest house?" I asked. It felt like a strange, unexpected decision. But it was the right one. We would turn the house into something new, but without losing its history. We would keep the old walls, the crooked stairs, and the uneven floors. We would fix the garden, but we wouldn't make it perfect. It would be a place where people could come, stay, and find the quiet that Arthur had found, the peace I was starting to understand. When I told Grace about my plan, she smiled.
I think Arthur would have liked that,
She said.
He always wanted this place to mean something, to be more than just a house. I think he would be happy you found your way back.
I still don't know if I've understood everything Arthur wanted me to, but I know that for now, I'm staying, and that feels like enough.